All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite WMMA podcast. Hashtag CB99 Talks. This is episode 161. Of course, I'm Combo Breaker 99, and I'm back. All right, y'all. Back from yesterday's technical difficulties. No, I said I was going to jump back on right away yesterday, but OBS kind of killed my flow, man. And I was like, I got stuff to do, and I didn't feel like pulling StreamYard up and setting everything up over there. So I said, you know what? I'm going to just jump on tomorrow. Shoot, I did say I was going to jump on Friday instead because, like I said, my flow was killed and, I just had other thoughts in my mind. So I said, all right, I'm going to go do this and I'll worry about it in a couple of days. But I ain't going to do y'all like that. I already put it off one day. So I'm back again here. We're going to see how this one goes. Well, this one should go smooth because I am on StreamYard now, and I don't seem to have issues when it's on StreamYard. So, yeah, back again, y'all. Here we go. Let's pick up where we'll have to kind of start over just in case y'all missed the talk yesterday. Some of y'all was already saying, oh, I'm late. But, yeah, we were kicking it off, just talking about this fight weekend coming up, of course, flyweight fights. We got 3 coming up this weekend, and I wanted to speak on another unsigned hype type of fighter. Not hype like hype, but somebody I felt should have been signed to the UFC by now after kind of looking at her resume and some of the fighters that are signed, because some of the fighters that this particular fighter beat have recently been signed to the UFC, So y'all know who I'm talking about for y'all that, were in the live yesterday. But yeah, I want to talk about that fighter. And of course, yeah, this fight weekend, we got 3 fights on the 3 WMMA fights on this card. And I want to do a bantamweight report. I want to cover some bantamweight fights coming up. Bantamweight seems to be picking up. We got a lot of fights coming up over the next few months, going into the fall. And it wouldn't be fair if I skipped out on the ladies at bantamweight, right? Just because the division ain't popping like it used to be, I still got to talk about it, right? I mean, I cover flyweight all the time. I covered strawweight a little while back, like a month ago. I did a strawweight report and we had a bunch of strawweight fights coming up. I filled y'all in on that. So I should be filling y'all in on 135, right? I mean, it ain't helping if I ain't promoting it either, right? So for some of the hardcore fans that still want to see these fights, I can fill y'all in because they just been rolling them in, rolling a lot of announcements in over the past few days. So yeah, I want to speak on bantamweight here real quick as well before I get up out of here. But yeah, man, it's fight week again, man, and yeah, with all these cancellations in 125 that have taken place, I mean, I had to kind of speak on 135 for coming through, right? I mean, yeah, we got to speak on some of these fights, but everything is still in play for 125 as far as the fights happening. We got fights happening, but the next 2 weeks are a little disappointing in the matter that the original fights aren't taking place. As y'all know, Rose and Barber is now Rose and Cortez, and with Cortez moving up to fight Rose, that messes up her fight with Miranda Maverick the following week. So Miranda Maverick is now fighting Deani Barbosa. Jasmine Jasudavicius is now fighting Fatima Kline because Arujo pulled out. So all of them fights that look like they were going to be hitters are now they're now mutated. Like I said yesterday, like these fights, they mutated. They're not necessarily like gone, but they just turned into something that we ain't even see coming. And now we like, oh, what's going on here? Like, oh, what is this? At the same time, we feel like, oh man, what is this? But we still gonna tune in because it could still be a good fight. Rose and Tracy could be good. Jasmine and Fatima could be good. It's just the fact that it came out of nowhere and it looks weird because Fatima Kline was a few days ago just signed to do Dana White's Contender Series, and now boom, here she is fighting, higher level experienced fighter, So yeah, it's just weird like that. I mean, anything can happen, it's MMA, anything can happen, right? So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, just a few things I want to discuss here. But yeah, man, to kick this thing off, I want to talk about one fighter that's not even in the UFC yet that just kind of ran across my mind because I was just watching PFL again and doing some resume checks, and her name was popping up several times on resumes as an L for other fighters. You know, these are people that lost to this young lady, and the more I look at it, I was like, why is she not signed? And y'all know what I'm talking about. Talking about Jenna Bishop. Jenna Bishop, just looking at her resume, I was like, why was she never signed to the UFC? I know what she's 7-1 now, right? Let me go ahead and pull up her resume here. Yeah, she's 7-1 right now, but a few years ago she was like 5-0, maybe 6-0, whatever, a year ago. And when you see that, I know some people say, okay, that's kind of premature to sign her, but they signed other fighters. They signed other fighters before that have worse resumes of people that are really green. And, some of them turned out well, some didn't. So I don't know why they never took a chance with Jenna Bishop. The contract just never came her way, or just never showed interest. Some people say it's because of the age, but I don't think it would really be because of age. I know she is 38 years old, but a couple years ago she was 36. And they signed people 35, 36, or close to that. Jasmine 35 herself now. When she got signed, she had to be 33, but still, somebody in her 30s, no one's in her 30s. So I don't really see it as a miss. But yeah, just looking at Jenna's resume, I'm like, okay, this girl's impressive. Her skills are nice. She's really solid on the ground, better than some of the girls they got now. She's one fighter I don't have to say, oh, she needs to really work on her ground game and hustle. Like, she's actually there when I see her ground game. Like, she knows how to get on the inside. She's rough, rugged. Her striking is decent. She connects. Of course, just like every other fighter, they got to work on their defense. But still, like, when I see Jenna Bishop in action, like, I'm seeing that level that could possibly be tested and improved by being in there with better fighters, right? Because you look at her resume right now, okay, look, Jenna Bishop. All right, let me pull this thing up here. Hold on. Yeah, this is just for some of y'all that missed this yesterday, and we got to pick up where we left off. So, yeah, I'm speaking on Jenna Bishop here compared to some of the other fighters. She has a decent resume. Jenna Bishop made her debut in LFA. Got in there with a choke over Helen Lucero, who I've seen fight several times. Right after that, she fights again in LFA against none other than Deanna Barbosa, who we got fighting Miranda Maverick next week. So Deanna Barbosa, y'all know, she came into Contender Series, got a good finish. She's a tough grappler, strong. One of those fighters that also handed Karine Silva a loss. So once you just kind of do your history and you're like, okay, Deanna Barbosa is a sharp fighter to have on your resume, especially as a win for you. So yeah, Jenna Bishop has a win over her. And then she beat Luana Santos, who's fighting this weekend against Maria Agapova. So looking at these wins, she's solid. And then she beat Caliendo, who was in Bellator. Alara Ioane, she finished her. She finished Chelsea Hackett. She got to her before Dakota DeChiva did. And last but not least, okay, she racked up, she got her first loss. Got her first loss against Tyler Santos in a split decision. Okay, that's a split decision loss, against one of the fighters that some people think beat Valentina Shevchenko. So, yeah, Jenna Bishop got a lot going for her. Her resume, like, this is kind of like a resume you've seen a lot of these other girls come into the UFC on, and having a spirited fight against Tyler Santos that you could argue she won, and the fighters that she's already beaten that are in the UFC just shows you that, okay, she's got the goods. Again, connecting on Tyler Santos with a striking, giving Tyler a tough fight, on the ground, not easy to control. And yeah, okay, Tyler's bigger. That's what kind of saved Tyler in the fight when it came down to it. You really analyze it, that's what saved Tyler's her physical strength. But when you look at like technique on the ground, like Jenna Bishop has that level like Aaron Blanchfield a bit when she's on the ground. She lives and breathes there. She's a black belt. She's solid like that. So yeah, I just wanted to give Jenna Bishop some credit and say, hey man, like, they missing out here. And it could be possible that this might be one train that just goes by. It's one of them boats that just sails on through because, yes, she is 38. And I know she is taking on Dakota Dechiva later on this year. So that would suck, if she came out with a loss and it kind of killed her momentum, man. I would like to see her win this thing and take it all, because from there, I know she would try to make that move over there and maybe finish out her career there. Because, yeah, she doesn't have too long, but, age is just a number. I mean, she doesn't look 38 at all. I mean, doesn't move like it. As far as what I mean, she doesn't move like it is. She still fights with a lot of hunger. And I think she has a lot going for her still, So hopefully she does well against Dakota this weekend. But yeah, I just wanted to speak on that just so y'all know, Jenna Bishop, man, when you look at her skill set, she's a fighter that UFC probably missed the boat on, definitely a good fighter, I would have loved to seen in the UFC by now. But yeah, what do y'all think in the comment section? Let me know. So yeah, let's talk about this weekend coming up. Let's pick back up where we were at yesterday. Let's talk about this weekend. We got 3 fights coming up. Of course, 2 changed, and 1 is still the same. I know this is a fight that most of y'all aren't really looking forward to. I'll watch it, of course. As a hardcore fan, I'm gonna watch it. I mean, it's not a matchup any of us call for, but it's just one of those fights, right? We got Luana Santos taking on Mariah Agapova. Mariah Agapova, she's been calling for a fight. She's been trying to get back in the mix. She's been taking social media, speaking on some of the issues she's been going through as far as not making enough money, so on. She did fight, I think, a KC Combat grappling tournament against, what's her name, Helen Severa, I think. And she came up short in that. I guess that was a paycheck for her, and that's what really mattered because they signed her up for it. But right away when she, took to social media, she got signed on to fight this tough young lady on to come up here, Luana Santos. Luana Santos fought at flyweight and bantamweight. She stopped Juju Miller, beat Stephanie Edgar. Pretty scrappy fighter, heavy hands. Likes to come forward and really push for that fight, high volume. Which could play right into Mariah Agapova's style. Agapova, I have to give her credit. She might crumble on the ground at times because the ground game is still not really perfected. But on the feet, early on, I used to think she was moving like a Joanna with a little bit more power. But yeah, that's the type of fighter that she is. She's long, good counter striker, hits hard, really sharp elbows as well. Every fight she's been in, even in the fights that she's lost, I think she's been always game and in trouble for anybody that she's been in there with. Knocked out Sabina Mazo, even though she was submitted by Moreau and Jillian Robertson. She left a mark in there. I mean, the Jillian Robertson fight was rough. I mean, both ways. I think she was cracking Jillian Robertson with some hard shots. Hitting her with a very nasty elbows. Jillian Robertson looked groggy in there, at times, but she fought through it, submitted her. So, looking at, let's see. Let's pull up Agapova's resume here. Okay, 10-4. Her last win was Sabina Mazo, which was 3 years ago. Since then, she lost to Moreau and Jillian Robertson. So, yeah, she's in need of a win. She's really in need of a win now, just to kind of get back in the mix, especially with the way flyweight's going. I mean, yeah, she's not like a 5-fight losing streak, but at the same time, there's been a lot of inactivity, periods of inactivity. So, yeah, she's got to get back into the mix soon, and make a big statement against Luana Santos. Like I said, I think Luana Santos, her style could play in favor of Agapova. If her ground game is halfway decent, she can get her to the ground. As far as momentum right now and mentality, I think I roll with Luana Santos. I think, she hits hard, fighting up at a higher weight, and I think she's strong. Fighting against Stephanie Edgar, and be able to control her. I think she'll be able to control range here, land some good shots. As long as she can stay away from the left hand of Agapova, get the fight to the ground, it can be hers. I think mentally right now, Agapova, she just kind of been in a rut at times. I'd like to see her bounce back. I like to see her bounce back and get a victory here. kind of neutral on this one. There's really not a lot riding on this one for me as far as big fan of either fighter here, but Agapova been through a lot, and I like to see her kind of get through her demons. I know she calls herself the Demon Slayer, so I like to see her get through those demons. I see this playing out as more of a stand-up fight. Maybe until Luana Santos gets in trouble, she'll try to get the fight to the ground and control her. We might get a submission win here. But I think I'll go with Luana Santos by finish. Not sure how she does it, but yeah, I think I'll go with Luana Santos when it comes down to it in this fight. All right. Should be a good fight, though. I mean, it's not going to be boring. I don't think so. Any fight Agapova's been in hadn't really been a boring fight either. All right. So moving on here. I know y'all excited about this change. It's a big shocker to the hardcore fans here that understand what's going on here. But y'all had some questions for me on this one, but let's talk about it. Jazzy Vicious, her original opponent, Viviana Rua, was out. She'll be taking on Fatima Kline now. Fatima Kline, brand new. This is her UFC debut. She's making her UFC debut against an experienced fighter in Jasmine. I know this is crazy. I know the UFC is trying to push it more off that she's a double champ in Cage Fury, but there's levels to this, right? There is levels to this. All right, so UFC debut for Fatima Kline at 125 against Jasmine. Fatima Kline, she's familiar with both weight classes, 115 and 125. Honestly, I was hoping she'd be able to make her UFC debut at 115. She was going to be coming into the Contender Series at 115, but hey, they called her for this. The confidence in Fatima Kline has always been there. She's been asking to be in the UFC now. She said she's ready. So they just had to throw the fight her way. Something just had to happen and she was going to be ready to go, So shout out to her for that. But another question here is, first of all, let's get out of the way. Is Fatima Kline biting off more than she can chew here, right? First off, I have to say, in a way, yes. She's only 23 years old, had 2 championship fights in Cage Fury, a regional organization. So right away, it'll look that way, like, okay, this might be too much for her, but on paper, it looks like that. But when you've seen what Fatima Kline does and the confidence that is in this young lady, anything is possible. I don't think she would have taken this fight if she felt like she couldn't win it. Maybe she's done her research here, and if she does her research, this could be a winnable fight for her. Okay, this isn't like she's taking on Jessica Andrade right away. Well, even then, like, skill wise, you could see her maybe pulling that fight out, right? But this isn't like let's say in a Valentina. Like, let's say they jump right in there and put her in there, former champ Valentina, right? Because Valentina turns down Grasso and they pick Fatima Kline. Now that's nuts. This fight here is still possible because though Jenna Bishop is tough, there are some areas that Fatima Kline could thrive. Okay, there are some areas where Fatima Kline could thrive in this fight. Because Jasmine just got ranked, right? Let's pull this up. Hold on here. Let's see here. All right. Okay, let's pull this up. Flyweights. Yeah, Jasmine just got ranked. She's kind of been in that revolving door. And at number 15, where she kind of teeters, and we've seen her lose to certain styles of fighters. Fatima Kline isn't really necessarily biting off too much here. More than she's biting off a big chunk, let's say that, but she at the same time, it's not more than she could chew. Let's put it that way. Because if we look at Fatima Kline, how she matches up size-wise, she's long, she's 5'6". She's fighting between 115 and 125. If you look at her stature, she's not this tiny little flyweight that should be getting bullied in there, so she sizes up just about right. Of course, at 23, she might be a thinner strawweight, a thinner fighter. That's why she fights at strawweight more. But eventually, yes, she'll grow into flyweight. But as of right now, it is a little questionable, but she should be able to handle this fight. She should be able to. Jasmine, of course, has more experience on her side. She's been there with Zombie Girl. She's learned from the Natalia Silva fight. That was a good, humiliating experience, getting outboxed and dropped by her. Tracy Cortez, she's held her own in that dog fight. She's beat Kay Hansen. That was her first fight, right? She's able to utilize her size. But early in her career, that's where you could say, okay, she's just big, but she's dangerous. But there's still some things missing that could be exposed there. I mean, you go all the way back. Jasmine, she's lost to fighters like Elise Reed, when she kind of goes in there and just fights off her heart. Yeah, she's lost to Elise Reed, okay? And Natalia Silva, Tracy Cortez. So there is a blueprint there. And maybe Fatima Kline feels like her skill sets are enough to go in there and win this fight, okay? So I'll say it is a kind of a shocker. Like, it is a fight where you could say, okay, why didn't they reach out to so-and-so first? Why didn't they reach out to Gatto, right? Why didn't they get Gatto in there? Why didn't they get Montana in there? Why didn't they call up JJ Aldridge? Something like that, right? There was plenty of those opportunities. They got Deanna Barbosa fighting Miranda Maverick, right? I mean, you got over, like, I don't know if the numbers are still the same, but, like a year or so ago, I did an unranked flyweight count, and there's like over, 20 flyweights? Maybe not anymore. Maybe it's like 15, but you still have a lot. Right. So I know it is one of those situations, like, why not get somebody with experience? Like, why risk a young undefeated fighter their aura and their shine? You know what I mean? Like, some people feel like Fatima Kline could go in there and get ruined, but which is possible. But I think being ruined is more part of the mentality of a fighter. I don't see Fatima Kline being that type of fighter that'll go in there and get ruined. As far as like her mentality, if she was to lose, she'd go down fighting, and I think she would learn from it. She just seems like that type of fighter. She's not someone who's gonna go in there, get destroyed, fold, and then her whole demeanor changes. Like that. That's what I get from her as of right now. I think she is that type of fighter. So she won't go in here and get mad, like destroyed and control like that, So, okay, with that out of the way, yeah, I think that, yeah, it is a big jump for her, but it's winnable for Fatima Kline. So what she's going to have to do in this fight, to me, I think here, as a long, tall fighter in a good size flyweight, I think number one, she's going to have to use her range early in this fight. I think Fatima Kline is a great jiu-jitsu practitioner, great grappler, but one of the things I do like about her is how her striking is catching up. So I think her striking, it's very important that she uses her striking to just control the range and pick up points and try to do damage and get the respect of Jasmine. Don't try to fight Jasmine's fighter going to the ground early. Just try to use her striking and lateral movement that she's been learning to kind of frustrate Jasmine. I think Jasmine, being older, yeah, she's learning, but there's still some old ways about her where she gets stuck into the same thing, and she'll try to be dirty and, try to push that type of rugged fight. So Kline has tools on her side where she could make this more of a technical match, which would be smarter. I think if it gets into the, clinch, she has to be wise there, use knees to the body, be slick with those trips, and look for submissions. Don't waste time trying to just control Jasmine. If she does, it has to be ground and pound. But with the way Jasmine wrestles, she can be reckless. She leaves herself open. So submission over position for Fatima Kline being, I think, the better jiu-jitsu practitioner. She's got to look for that neck and that arm to end the fight quick. A longer fight favors Jasmine. I think she has a gas tank for it. She's tough, proven. And, she, like I said, she'll resort to tactics when it gets down to it. So that type of street fight, it favors Jasmine more. So I think looking for submissions, using her striking early if she can, just keeping distance and just trying to outstrike Jasmine will be wise. For Jasmine, she got to make it an ugly fight. She got to welcome this girl to the UFC. She's got to come in there, jab her way in, touch that chin, pin her to the cage, and just keep it there. Keep it on the cage. Don't give this girl any space to use her reach, work her body, use them tactics that she hasn't seen yet, only in training, but show her that it's a real fight. And I think that's what it is for Jasmine. It has to be more of a mental battle for her. Jasmine's got to crush any thought that she could win this fight and crush that confidence. Jasmine got to go in there and say, "Oh, you think you can come in here and which is 6-0 or 5-0 and prove that you're better than me? Nah, I'm gonna make this an ugly fight for you." She just earned her 15 spots, so she got to fight like that. She gotta use her timing. She got to jab, use a straight right hand. Because even with those strikes that she's been connecting on with fighters like Miranda Maverick and Rock and Priscilla Cachoeira, she can be effective with that. Again, Kline might not be used to that type of pressure yet. So she's got to put that pressure on from a mid-range and then fight on the inside. And for her, it's got to be the opposite. Position over submission for her. She got to get the fight to the ground and control it and be, just be the heavy girl, be the bully, right? So I think that's pretty much easy keys to victory. Well, I won't say easy. It's going to be easy fight, but that's pretty much what she had utilized. Everything we've seen in the past on this young girl that hasn't been to a high level yet. But with that being said, man, it's actually a competitive fight. I think I could see Fatima winning this. I'm rocking with Fatima in this fight. I want to see her go up in there and shock some people and bring some, new blood in here. I know her plans aren't to stay at 125, but this is her way into the UFC to get to 115. Hopefully it doesn't turn out like, no, this ain't going to be like Manon versus Tabitha Ricci. I think Fatima holds her own here. There's a good balance. Lesser skills in Jasmine and more of a size and skill increase here versus what Tabitha Ricci had. I think Fatima Kline has a lot more going for her than when Tabitha Ricci was against somebody huge like that. So I think she has opportunity here. But if Jasmine goes in here and wins this fight, I wouldn't be surprised. I think Jasmine can win it off of the dog and maybe pressure and shock. Okay. But what do y'all think, guys? Let me know. I don't want to spend too much time on this one here, but I mean, it is kind of interesting just as a hardcore fan, like what Fatima's going to do. But we've seen this before. Let me know what y'all think. All right. Moving on to the main event. All right, main event here. Rose Namajunas making her return against Macy. No, just kidding. Tracy Cortez. Okay, this is a big step up for Tracy Cortez. Let's look at Tracy first. Y'all know Tracy. She's 11-1. She hasn't experienced the loss in 7 years. I believe that was her UFC debut. Got choked out in her UFC debut when she never looked back. Never looked back since then. I mean, she's beat fighters like Erin Blanchfield, Maria Agapova, Justine Keesh, Stephanie Edgar, Melissa Gatto, Jasmine. This girl's got a good resume. I think the thing about Tracy that doesn't wow a lot of people, even though she has these wins, is the fact that her wins don't come in like the dominant fashion. That she doesn't do anything too spectacular. She just gets the job done. And that's what I do like about her. She's a workman like that. She'll go in there and do what she has to do in a certain situation. Not the best striker, learning, getting there, improving. Really good wrestler, really good inside fighter, good ground and pound, and good control. Not really careless either. I have to say, she's not really reckless, and that's why she's got a lot. That's why she hasn't lost, because people got to give her more credit. They're like, she's not really reckless. Like, even when she's on the ground, like, never really see her in too much trouble. Of course, she hasn't really been tested to a high level yet because of her inactivity, but this is a big step up against a former champ. And if you want to see her with any former champ or anybody with, a lot of accomplishments, it'd be Rose at this point, to break her in. Like, Rose is not too big, not too powerful like that compared to some of the other flyweights like a Manon or, like this new revamp of Erin, Macy Barber. So Tracy actually has a chance to win here, man. Like, with what Tracy possesses just as a naturally bigger woman and her skill sets, they could go in there and give Rose all kinds of trouble. And I say that because I've seen this in boxing, where you have someone who is young and hungry, naturally the bigger fighter, takes on somebody who's moving up, but might not necessarily be the same, might be in their prime anymore, kind of just going through the motions. Not saying Rose is like completely out yet. We'll have yet to see, but they haven't really done anything in this division that they move up to. This could be an opportunity for Tracy to come in here and shine. Tracy can look at what fighters like Carlos Esparza done, Andrade as far as pressure and wrestling, and she could go in there and do something big, and look good here. This is a main event. This is her opportunity to do that. So I think it's going to wake her up. Even though she's not fighting as much as some of these other fighters, I think when it's time to fight, she will show up. All right. But as for Rose, Rose right now, she's kind of easing her way into flyweight. Well, she came in with a bang trying to take the big fighter on, but lost, but still showed some game and shine in there of her old self. But not too many people were impressed with the Ebos win. The Ebos fight, and that was one everybody felt like she could have stopped her in. But she got 5 rounds in to showcase she could move, had good ground control at times, was never in trouble on the ground. Her strength held up in that fight. But this is going to be a bigger test here to see where Rose is mentally. I know Rose feels like she could go up there and shock the world and maybe fight Valentina or Grasso if she has to. But she has to show that she's able to get the respect, that she can get the respect from these other flyweights. She's got to get the respect from these other flyweights. And I think that's where a lot of people think she's going to fall short. Like, she doesn't really carry that power. The precision is still there. The IQ is still there. But physically, if she's a little slower and her movement is not there, this fight could be problems. Tracy could come in with more pressure here. Her improved boxing, she's going to let her hands go. Tracy's going to let her hands go. She's looking for a fight. So let's see if Rose can get that respect in this type of fight. I mean, we saw the IQ in the Ebos fight, but here I think she's going to need the IQ, and she's going to need the strength and the muscle to kind of counter what she does as well. Okay. So real quick, let's look at some keys to victory for Tracy Cortez. Let's see. Let's pull this up. All right. So for Tracy Cortez, man, I think just kind of going off what we've seen her in the past, I think she has to use some educated pressure here. I think, number one, she's got to be out of Rose's range, out of her reach, but at the same time, walking Rose down, walking Rose into traps, Pena, getting Rose back to the cage where she has no real estate. And then that's where she needs to pounce on her, time Rose's long strikes at times, or maybe that left hook from, as she tries to counter Tracy, stutter, step away in and pin Rose to the cage. That educated pressure is going to get her. It's going to get her hands on Rose. It's going to get Rose back to the cage. And that's where I think, she can thrive and land some hard elbows, land to that body, and, eventually maybe try to take Rose down, or even just, rough her up here until eventually she could pull her down and, get that top control. So I think it's going to be a number of things all in that educated pressure. Educated pressure is going to lead to the cage work she needs. Okay. That's the second key. Third key is going to lead to the body. She's got to target the body, with heavy knees. I feel like that's a midsection, the midsection somewhere a lot of people don't touch enough, but I remember landing some knees there to the body. It kind of made Rose grimace a little. They didn't capitalize though. So I think that's where, Andrade did as well. So I think that's where Tracy needs to go, is land those shots to the body. And eventually that'll soften Rose up and get her to the ground, slow her down. And that's where she thrives in her wrestling. You know, like she could be a bigger Carla Esparza here, you know, use her wrestling and get that top control and eventually get some ground and pound in and get that full mount. Okay. So I think, yeah, it's got to be more of a close quarters fight, combination punches and timing. You know, she's got to time Rose's striking. At this weight, I think Rose is easier to time than she was at straw weight. You know, bigger fighters like Tracy should be able to take a couple of her shots if need be, but still, you don't want to take too many. But I think Tracy has the ability to time, you know, put combinations together only to get on the inside and make this a rough and physical fight. And that's what a lot of flyweights need to do at this weight. You know, they have to be physical with Rose. Don't give her space to work because, yeah, she has best footwork in the game when it comes to WMMA. So a lot of these fighters don't match that. So you got to take that away from her, right? So those are most of the keys for Tracy Cortez. For Rose, you know, Rose got to keep this thing like she's always done. You know, the smooth mover, sticking the jab out in the face, straight right hand, and use her lateral movement, keeping her back off the cage. If it does get into the clinch, use those smooth elbows up the middle, make it rough at times in the center, but go right back to the center at a range. Rose needs to just step in and out, land those leg kicks, land the leg kick till it opens up a head kick. You know, go for that. Go for those respect shots, you know, head kicks, kind of wake these fighters up, let them know what you're in there with. I think, yeah, the straight punch is definitely going to be a big factor for Rose, but they're going to have to come in combinations now. Like she doesn't have that stunning power that she had at 115. You know, it's got to be punches and bunches at time, you know, 2-3 punches and move, 2 punches and a kick. It's got to be a mix of combinations here on Tracy. You know, Tracy ain't been in here with a mover like that, you know, so pot shotting is a possibility for Rose here. Okay, so I think it just needs to be a striking 101 for Rose. Striking for 101. If he goes to the ground, her jiu-jitsu, you know, she has to be slick there. Look for those opportunities. You know, her jiu-jitsu, I think, is a little bit better than, I think her jiu-jitsu is better than Cortez. Yeah, for sure. But as far as wrestling, you know, that's Cortez's ball game. You know, she's been heavier. You know, she knows how to utilize that. All right. So, yeah, how do I see this fight playing out, man? I could see Rose winning this thing by striking 101, of course. But I think Cortez possesses A, B, and C, even for her level of flyweight, you know, where she's been at. You know, she's done different things, and I think she'll know how to make her move through this fight. I think, you know, again, she won't play into the traps that some of the other flyweights have in the past with Rose, or even strawweights. You know, I think Tracy's got enough to go in here and utilize her wrestling, touch Rose a few times, be physical, and show her that she's a real flyweight. You know, I think I might have to go with Cortez by decision in this fight. I think she's got the gas tank to go. Possibly finish, man. Like this could be Rose. This could be the time that Cortez could get a finish if she's on the ground long enough. Because I think when she does get it to the ground and she's in that position, she might actually get that burst of adrenaline and feel like, okay, I can stop her now. I got to get her out of here. You know, no need to go 5 rounds with Rose because Rose is the 5-round queen here. She is the one that you give the edge to at 5 rounds, right? But it's going to be an interesting fight. If not, it'll be a learning experience for Cortez. But I think maybe Cortez will be able to get this one here. I think she'll be able to use her size and touch Rose at times, maybe even heavier than Amanda Ebos did. All right. Should be a good fight. I'll be on calling it Saturday. What do y'all think, guys? Let me know in the comment section. Who do y'all got? Rose, Cortez. All right. All right, y'all. So, okay. So moving on, y'all. Let's talk about this bantamweight division here real quick. Let's run through some scheduled fights. Of course, we all know changes can be made, and there's been some cancellations in the past. But yeah, I wanted to just jump on and do a bantamweight report here real quick. I'm not going to be too long on it because, again, yeah, some things could change, but we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 scheduled bantamweight fights, and that's the most we've had in a while that are coming up all in August and September, some on the same card. So I said, let me go ahead and fill y'all in here. We are getting some action. All right. So yeah, let's see here. Bantamweight it does deserve some shine too. I know, we just signed Kayla Harrison, got her first victory. Might be having a title fight coming up. Interesting fighters that have been signed, so let's give them a chance. All right. So yeah, bantamweight report. Let's see, kicking it off August 10th. We got Yana Konaskaya taking on Chelsea Chandler. This fight's coming up August 10th on. Let me pull up the card here real quick just to kind of fill y'all in. Well, if I gave y'all a date, y'all should know, right? Okay, so that card is the UFC Fight Night card. Let's see, Chelsea Chandler. Y'all know she's 6-2. Currently 2-1 in the UFC? Yeah, Chelsea Chandler. Let's see. Yeah, 2-1 in the UFC. She finished Stoyarenko, beat Josiane Nunes, lost to Norma Dumont. Now she's taking on Yana Santos. Yana Santos is 14-8. Ooh, Yana Santos hasn't had a victory in 3 years since Ketlin Vieira, and also has a win over Stoyarenko. Lost back-to-back to Irene Aldana, Holly Holm. Well, not back-to-back, but three fights in a row. Lost to Kira Rosa, Holly Holm, Irene Aldana. So Yana Santos, might be fighting for her career here, signing new bantamweights, and with her on a 3-fight losing streak. So she's going to be dangerous in this fight. Yana Santos, decent with her hands at times. She's got a good in and out style when she tries to land those combinations. Kind of predictable. It's been exposed in the past by fighters like Irene Aldana, Aspen Ladd. She's a big bantamweight, though. Her thing has mostly been like a lot of clinch control and lay and pray. I think this kind of plays more into Chelsea Chandler's hands here. Chelsea's got a good straight left hand, good timing. I think she's quicker to submit. So, Chelsea being a big bantamweight herself, this could be a winnable fight for her and a good fight to get higher in the ranks. I think Chelsea shows more dog and she's a bit more scrappy in there. So yeah, this fight should be interesting. I think that'll be Chelsea bringing more of the action here and making this fight less, boring. Because a lot of people fall asleep on Yana, they say, right? So, yeah, that one's coming up on the UFC Fight Night card. No other bantamweight fights on that one. Okay, let's see. That is let me see who's on that. Jarno Aarons and Yosef Zahal. Okay, yeah, double checking here. Yeah, no other bantamweight fights on that card. Okay. Oh, okay. No. Okay, yeah. So it's Yana Santos from Chelsea Chandler August 10th. Also, this one's in the works. That's why August 10th, when I was looking at the schedule, it's not locked in yet, but we got another one on here. Let's see. Let's pull it up here. Got another fight. Give me 1 second here. All right, where is it? All right, hold on, y'all. Let me pull this other fight up. Okay, let's see what we got. It's here somewhere. Okay, yeah, so this one's not official. That's what it is. Okay, yeah, it's not on the schedule yet, but let me see if I can pull. Yeah, there we go. It's also tentatively going to be on this August 10th card. We got Pennington and Kira Rosa. Okay, so this one here, man, this one, I know it's not a fight that's going to lead us to who the next title contender is going to be, but this would be a good fight, man. This one here should be as far as like throwing down. Panny likes to box. She likes a fight that she can throw hands in. That's where she excels. Kira Rosa, she's coming off that Irene Aldana performance. And I mean, she has some of the best leg kicks in that fight, some of the best combinations that were most damaging combinations. So when you put Patty Kansan and Kira Rosa in there together, this fight is going to be action. this could be runner up to the Irene Aldana fight because these girls are going to be throwing hands. I mean, Penny might lose a few more teeth in this fight. I'm just saying, man, like this girl, she's lost teeth in the past. Yeah, this one should be crazy if they lock this fight in. Let's see. Yeah, coming off that Irina Aldana loss, she's beat Yana Kunitskaya. Carol Rosa has. Penny Kenzo, she's coming off the loss in the rematch to Macy Chiasson. Who else is yeah, so this one ain't locked in, so they haven't put these two side by side. Let's see. Back-to-back losses to Kelly Vieira, Macy Chiasson. Lena Landsberg was the last person she beat. She lost to Rocky Pennington. So, yeah, so she's 1-3. Yeah, so Penny needs a win, too. She'll need a win. So, hopefully, she can go in here and make a big statement with this. But, yeah, this one should be good. This one should be some action going on here. All right. Also in August, let's see, August 24th, we got, let's see, got another bantamweight fight here. Let's see, I don't see this one locked in either on Tapology. Let me pull this one up. Okay. Pulling up another one here for y'all. August 24th. We got Josiane Nunes and Jacqueline Cavalcanti. I know I talked a little bit about this one. Nunes is coming off that loss to Chelsea Chandler. And let's see. Let's see if this is locked in. Josiane Nunes at 10-2. Coming off the loss to Chelsea Chandler. She's taking on Jacqueline Cavalcanti, 6-1, who is a former LFA bantamweight champion. Beat Melissa Croden for coming in. And then she beat Zara Farron, who's no longer in the UFC. How this fight plays out, I see this as a good stand-up fight. I see Jacqueline Cavalcanti is like, to me, I know it's early to say, I won't say this like with all my chest, but I think she's kind of like a young Nunes, like as far as like her striking, she's mixing it up, good leg kicks, throws that long right hand, has some sneaky power. She throws in volume, but yeah, her power can be kind of sneaky when she sets up those counters, stepping back. Y'all know Josiane Nunes, girl likes to slug. She's a power hitter, and her thing is putting that pressure on and landing that long left hand. So I think it really comes down to who lands first in this fight and how they react to each other's style. Like if Jacqueline Cavalcanti is intimidated by the power, Nunes could take over. If the combinations in the lateral movement of Cavalcanti gives Nunes problems, then she's going to be swinging wild in there. She's going to be looking for that knockout. So, yeah, this one should be good. This should be a good stand-up fight. All right. Next up, we have this fight being scheduled for the Sphere. Okay, let me take a look here. Going down the list. September 14th. Got another one here. Pull this up, September 14th. This is going to be a lot for the Sphere. Trying to get as many Mexican fighters on there. They already got, I think they got, who they got? Ketlin Souza taking on Yasmin Jauregui. Of course, you got the champ Grasso. Is Valentina locked in? We don't know yet, but this was being worked on. Irene Aldana, Norma Dumont. Talked a little bit about this in a quick video. Irene Aldana coming off that hard-earned victory against not Norma Dumont, but Carol Rosa. All right, Norma Dumont. This girl's riding the wave. She just beat GDR, beat a lot of the lower level bantamweights and featherweights. Chelsea Chandler. I think she lost to Macy Chase. All right, she did beat Aspen Ladd. She's been hungry, man, and she's been trying to get into that title realm, and this is her highest level opponent. So I see Norma Dumont doing more. I see her doing more of what she has to do and trying to make an exciting fight. Irene Aldana, she's a fighter with a lot of heart, warrior. She's gonna have to do what she has to do to win this fight, and not try to please the crowd in this one. She's going to have to try to make those adjustments and dominate. Both fighters are going to have to try to dominate each other here to prove that they're ready for calling out Kayla and getting her out of the way, or even trying to go for that title shot. No more action-packed fights, Irina. You got to keep it clean here. Excel where you go for what you know. Same with Norma. And I think that Norma's more in that mind frame. I'm not sure my pick is yet, but I think that Norma is more in the mind frame to, win by any means necessary. Okay. So that's on lock for the Sphere. Okay, coming up September 28th, a couple weeks later, we got Eileen Perez versus Daria Zlesnikova. This is more up to Eileen Perez's speed. Somebody that is more of a hungry fighter as well. That's going to push her and make her have to adjust. Jocelyn Edwards. Jocelyn Edwards gave her a good fight. I think Eileen Perez did well on the feet and on the ground. She was able to be scrappy in that fight. Clearly won even on the feet and the ground. This one here is going to be tougher. I think Daria Zlesnikova, I think she has a lot of snap in her shots, long shots, good power. Who was her last opponent? Let's see. Zlesnikova at 9-1. She's tough now. Zlesnikova is tough. She went in there, fought a tough fight against Montserrat Rendon. I think some people feel like Montserrat won that fight, but I thought Zlesnikova did enough to win. Zlesnikova keeping it standing. I think it could be her fight. Eileen Perez, I think she wins on the ground. I think it's that type of fight. Better grapplers, Perez, Zlesnikova, going to have to be dominant on the feet. But then again, man, Perez, she's improving on her feet as well. She's working at goat shed now. She's kind of trying to be a well-rounded fighter. So kind of up in there on this one. I'm going to tell you the truth. It's 50-50. All right. Also on this card on September 28th, got another bantamweight fight. See, they stacking the bantamweight fights now on card. So that's good. GDR is making her return against Cornell. All right. GDR, she's coming off that loss to Norma Dumont. Pretty much got drowned in that fight after being on for 3-4 years. That was pretty much a given. Cornell coming off a stoppage win over Alyssa Dixon. This could be her fight to win, man. Go in there and put that pressure on. If her ground game is half as decent, she could do the same. But maybe the GDR just needed to shake off the dust, shake off that rust, and this could be her fight. Long striker, much better striker, technical. Cornell, she's kind of a go-get-em, so that could play in the GDR style, right? Not a bad fight, though. This one's trying to get GDR back into the mix. It's kind of a fight she probably should have fought in the first place. Norma, is a little bit dangerous for somebody coming back after 4 years off, right? This is probably where she should have been. So, yeah, this is a good tune-up fight for GDR. All right, so, yeah, those are the 6 fights we got coming up. Again, Yana Santos, Chelsea Chandler, August 10th. Carol Rosa, Penny Kianzin in August 10th as well. Jocelyn Nunez, Jacqueline Cavalcanti, August 24th. Irina Aldana, Norma Dumont, September 14th. Eileen Perez, Daria Zlesnikova, and GDR and Cornell on September 28th. And coming this fall, Rocky Pennington and Juliana Pena at some point. Don't know when, but I think it's going to happen in October. I think that Juliana Pena already kind of caught word on that, she said, and Rocky Pennington, she knows that she's about to come back at some point. So, yeah, probably either going to be set up on the card, I think the first week of October, like maybe 3 weeks in. I think, what is it, 307, 306, something like that. So this is a fight they need to go ahead and make happen, a long time overdue. I think Rocky, the fresher of the two, fresher and more improved, but Juliana Pena can't counter out when it comes to her natural abilities, her dog in her. We'll see how that fight turns out if they lock it in. Okay. Also trying to see if who else, well, let's just look at some of the fighters that's not scheduled as of right now. Let's see. We got. All right. Let's see. Just kind of looking down the list here. We got, of course, Kayla Harrison. She's supposed to come back one more time this year. Kayla Harrison is looking to fight again. She says she doesn't mind who. Kayla, I think, needs one more fight before we actually see her go in there and fight for the belt. I don't think she could just sit back and wait. Holly Holm wasn't enough. That's not enough for her to just say, okay, I'm ready for the champ. Of course, she might be because, her size and the timing she's in this division, right? So, yeah. But other than that, it'd be wise to put Kayla in there one more time just to see if she can make the weight again and still look good, right? So, with that being said, Kayla's free and Ketlen Vieira's free. Ketlen Vieira ranked a little bit higher. Ketlen's been calling Kayla out. Nobody else really has like that. Eileen Perez has, but still, this would be the next title eliminator mate, right? Ketlen versus Kayla. Ketlen feels like Kayla's not doing enough, and she says, "I'm not taking my spot." So make this fight happen, right? I think that's what it's going to be. Of course, Macy Chiasson just won her fight, stopped MBS, so she could be thrown into the mix as well. Does she fight up or does she fight down, right? Then you got a lot of other fighters here on the side, like Montserrat Rendon, who hasn't fought yet, who hasn't been scheduled yet. She just lost to Daria Selesnikova. And, of course, you got Melissa Dixon, who just lost by a stoppage. She's ready to fight again. So that either they could be matched up. And let's not forget, we still got that Irina Aksleva, a.k.a. the Russian Ronda. Haven't seen her fight in a while, so she's been active on social media. So you still got her out there. You can schedule her. Judy Avila still ranked, been inactive, but let's see where she stands, who she's coming back against. Of course, you got the veteran Miesha Tate, right? You still got Miesha Tate out there. Who's going to fight her next? Aksleva, maybe, the Russian Ronda. Yeah, Russian Ronda versus Miesha Tate. That's a good fight. You got Tamiris Vidal, Jocelyn Edwards. Still got a lot of the fighters here on the bottom now that haven't been scheduled to fight. I'm sure at some point they'll probably be scheduled by the end of the year or like beginning of next. But those are the fights that we've got scheduled right now. Those 6 and then 2 TBAs. The championship fight still hasn't been announced. Pennington versus Pena. And, of course, Kayla Harrison going to fight one more time this year, but we just don't know who against. All right. So, yeah, man, that's your bantamweight report. That's your bantamweight report as of right now. You got those 6 fights, 1 championship fight hasn't been scheduled yet, and Kayla Harrison looking to come back against somebody at this point. But, yeah, this fight weekend should be interesting. Got 3 flyweight fights. I'll be on with y'all later. We have, let me see, one more. Yeah. One more week till the because the next card is July 20th. So, yeah, we'll have a week to that Miranda Maverick fight. We'll talk about that later. But what do y'all think, guys? Who do y'all got on these fights coming up? What do y'all think of these bantamweight fights? That's about all I got on this one. So, yeah, I had to just come back on, re-record this one by myself here. Y'all can still chat in the chat. But appreciate y'all for coming through yesterday. Make sure y'all come through again here and check this one out. Make sure y'all subscribe everywhere for this one. And, hit that like and subscribe. And anything else? No, that's about it. That's all I got for tonight, y'all. So, we'll be here Saturday to call this card. Probably be on for the whole card. We might be on for the whole card. We'll see. All right. That's all I got, guys. Make sure y'all hit that like, subscribe, like always, for your favorite WMMA podcast, Combo Breaker 99. I am out. Subscribe. Peace.